incredible! This is
The Grove Podcast.
Do you know Tottenham?
What?
Tottenham Hotspur?
Top Spur?
No.
What's that?
You never heard of them?
No?
Hello, my name is Tabs and welcome to a very joyous and schadenfreude laden episode 116 of the Grove Podcast. Now, I hope you are all doing extremely well and still laughing at Tottenham whenever it is you may be listening to this. Now normally for the podcast, I put a fair bit of effort in putting together show notes to help me with what I want to say, plus some stats and quotes. But tonight's a bit different. It's going to be a bit off the cuff. I haven't had any time to put anything together, so apologies if, like our performance on Sunday, it's a bit disjointed and lacking in execution. However, to make up for my shortcomings and to join me at laughing at Tottenham and just to review the crazy 24 hours that has been in the world of Arsenal, and it's 11 p.m. here in the UK. So sorry if we're keeping you boys between you and your bedtime. Is first off Ian, aka Ask Cannon Picks. How are you? And I see you wearing the lovely new green jersey.
I am, Tabs, and I'm in great form. Shall I say I'm Eze like Sunday morning? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be many more of those puns.
Yes, and I'm sporting the green top like yourself because we're just going to make those Spurs fans a green with envy. Today's a joyous day.
It is indeed it is. And then also joining a last minute add in to the gang is Jamie. Do you how you doing? And do you regret going out this evening?
I regretted my decisions when I got home. I'm sat here trying to talk, but I've got like a tongue on fire because I had a couple of beers and decided to come back and make myself a tortilla, and I've used about 2 sauce bottles on it, and they're both of the very hot variety. So yeah,
lovely stuff.
If at any point I'm unable to speak, it's just the numbness my tongue is currently experiencing.
Well, it's a lot better than the chilly experience I had at the weekend while I was out running with my friend. But the less said about the better.
What? Okay.
Well, put it like this: we're not even going to be talking about bloody Arsenal yet. I'm a bit of a glutton. Well, not a glutton, but you know, whenever you go away to these British towns or wherever these like tourist places, and you always find bottles of local chili from wherever, and I like my chili sauce, and I bought this ghost pepper chili, and it's a tiny bottle, and that should have been the warning, because the smaller the bottle, the spicier it is.
Standard.
And I had a bit too much of it the night before a long run, and just I was just very happy that a cafe that was shut would let me in. Anyway, moving on.
And we've lost all our listeners.
That's exactly. You've come here for Anyway, moving on. So as I said, look, I think we felt that given the 24 hours Arsenal have had, that and especially the news that broke this evening, that we had to jump on and record a quick pod. And as I said, it was primarily as I said, there's no notes other than laugh. And primarily, this is going to be us laughing at Tottenham, but we might chat about what on earth has gone on. So we're going to start in reverse order and looking at the incredible news that broke this evening about Eberechi Eze. He's not joining Tottenham Hotspur and will be joining his boyhood club, the Arsenal, the club he only ever wanted. I think it was about 7:30 p.m. that the first Ormbon dropped, where it said, exclusive, Arsenal make move for Eberechi Eze. 27-year-old wants them. Tottenham lined up deal with Crystal Palace today and player, but after Havertz injury, Arsenal are closing in on England international. If he proceeds with his choice, which he did, Tottenham will pursue other targets. The rumour is they may be going for Sterling on loan, but I don't know. We'll see about that. So yes, Ian, what's your reaction to the hilarious news?
Oh my God, I haven't stopped smiling since David Ornstein broke our hearts earlier on this morning and completely made up for it, as you say, around 7:30, and because we've spoken on the pod so many times, because we were getting Eze, then obviously it looked like we weren't, and Tottenham were strong favourites to get him in, so we were all kind of licking our wounds and. But we all admitted that it really stung that he was going to go to that lot down the road. So for it to have just flipped on its head, oh my God, I'm so happy and so excited. It's the double whammy of we're getting an unbelievable player, but also absolutely stealing him from under the noses of Tottenham, who thought they had him.
Well, yeah, it's exactly. It was the reverse. We were all gutted that we weren't going to get him, and it was doubly worse that they were going to get him. So it just makes it all the sweeter. And Jamie, when did you find out? I mean, did you find out while you're out, or just when you came home?
No, I literally found out like about 10:30 when
wow.
was back. Yeah, so I pretty much walked into the news, and yeah, I was quite staggered, and just how many messages I had in the meantime, and just how the tone had shifted from the one that I left, because I left for a beer about 6:00 today, and on my bus journey there was dealing with like the post Havertz news and just absolute pandemonium in our local WhatsApp group of people having a go at us for seemingly. I think what's happened is that the board and Arteta got their like baseball bats out and bashed in Kai Havertz's knee, because apparently it's all there and caused it. And then the mood shift about 4 hours later when I picked back up on said WhatsApp group was just absolutely hilarious.
Fans are nothing but hypocrites. That's all I can say on that. and go where the good news is. But yeah, we will come to that a bit later. The Havertz stuff. I will make a reference to that. But yeah, so then a bit later, Ornstein then dropped another one where he said Arsenal reach agreement. So it goes from Arsenal make move to within an hour, Arsenal reach agreement in principle with Crystal Palace to sign Eberechi Eze, deal worth around the expired 68 million, release clause matching what Tottenham were ready to pay, personal terms, again, no problem. And this is one interesting thing. He's going to play for Crystal Palace tomorrow night because they've got the Conference League qualifier before we have the medical tomorrow. And I was really surprised at that, but I think it was part of getting the deal done. That he would play, and then it was and look. I was a bit hesitant about doing this pod because are we jumping the gun a bit and we're going to spend half an hour laughing at Tottenham and then it's going to blow up in our faces. But it's been confirmed by Ben Jacobs, Fabrizio Romano, Sammy Mockbell. Some social media.
BBC got it on the front page now. We're filming Naughty as of 7 minutes ago. So
and that's not the front page of the news of the sports. That's the front page of the news. Well, it should be. So I was a bit hesitant, but yeah, they've all said it. You said it's there. So he's firmed up the details. Are you concerned, Jamie, that he's playing tomorrow? And again, they're playing. I have no idea who they're playing tomorrow, but I saw the name. I don't even know where they're from, who they're from, or whatever it is. But is that a bit worrying? Because normally, no, it's not.
Is it Lazio or someone?
No. It wasn't. It was really some nobody. So I'll look it up. Who they might be playing, but does that worry you at all?
I mean,
normally they don't.
Obviously, it isn't normal. But if it was a part of getting the deal done, then it makes perfect sense. And let's face it, the chances are always actually slim of in-game injuries anyway. It seems like with our lot, we just get him in training anyway. So, I more just say, let him play for Palace and just don't let him train with us. That would probably be the best.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not an Arsenal player yet, so he won't get injured. That's that I think is the plan. So where are we at? UEFA Conference League. Oh my God! There's like so many fixtures. I can't even find bloody Crystal Palace. Oh, here you go. Oh, they're playing Fred Rikstad. So
Friedrichstad.
Oh, Friedrichstad. They're playing Fredrikstad.
One bloke called Fred Rikstad.
No. They're literally playing. They're literally playing some blokes. They're playing some bloke's dad, Fredrikstad.
They made it sound like a bloke from Luton, though. like it's Friedrichstad. They're a Norwegian Premier League team.
Okay, whatever. Okay, so thank you. They're a Norwegian
team. The ignorance that you have towards tier 2 footballing nations, right?
Okay, I'm just like too much full of laughing at Tottenham, so they're caught in the crossfire. Apologies for that. So yeah, look, again, he's not an Arsenal player yet, so he's going to fly through and all the rest of it. But we're all going to be there sitting there, fingers crossed. I think it's going to be the most amount of like people going to be searching out a stream to watch this Norwegian team play Crystal Palace tomorrow, because we're just all going to be there sitting there praying that nothing happens. So interesting stuff. So the other then what else? Then what? I mean, what is funny, and I think Ian, when you voice messaged me today, like about the news, was that I think in our last pod, and I think we've all done it, with you, Jamie, and with you, Ian, that we justified why it was okay that we didn't sign Eze. Where would he fit? He's going to be a luxury player. We all love him, we all wanted him, but we can't afford him. We have to sell before we buy, and all the rest of it. All that's now out the window. all that's sod that. We didn't really mean it. We were just trying to make ourselves feel better. So yeah. In terms of him coming to the club, Ian, what do you think his role's going to be? Because is it a coincidence that this is happening with the Havertz news, or would it have happened anyway?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. I like when we back in the day before Tottenham were heavily linked with him, when we were talking about hopefully signing him, like we voiced our concern, as you said, that like where exactly does he fit? He's not an out and out left winger, and that's what our team is crying out for. But I said that he's so good across that front line that you just go out and get him. You just do the deal. So it's going to be very interesting to see where he ends up. Like the fact that Havertz got injured, obviously he's not going to play up top. But like, are they going to move, say, somebody like Martinelli or Trossard in, like kind of turn him? We had two wingers, Trossard, Martinelli. Make one of them officially for like, I don't know, the next 6 months, a striker. Move one of them in, and Eze operates on that left hand side, either on the left wing or as a left 8. But then you've Declan Rice, who's playing that role quite well. Like, it's still a little bit of a mystery as to where he'll play. Like the kind of the questions we were asking before all this madness unfolded are still legit. But again, he's so good, you just do it. You just get him in. Who cares where he plays?
Yeah. I mean, Jamie, any thoughts on that? And then also, again, there were genuine concerns about that. Yeah, we're not blocking Denilson here, okay? We're blocking. This is potentially, Nwaneri, and I think that was a genuine concern. It was that when we were first looking at this, it was coincided with Nwaneri's contract. Nwaneri signed the contract, it all went a bit quiet. So yeah, I mean, how do you see him, fitting in, and how does how does it tie in with the Havertz injury and all the other concerns that we had?
Well, certainly what I was reading from Bill McNulty earlier was saying it was very much a case that it is as a result of the Havertz injury. Apparently, It's moved incredibly quickly, and Berta was very much the one who took the lead on it, which I think is one of the most interesting parts for me. We've seen us be the opposite of reactionary in the past. Certainly, let's face it, January transfer window was a very good example of that, and being quite cautious. And I can understand why. I do see there as being, that we have been at the wrong end of serious financial risk at the Arsenal a bunch of times, where we've overspent on players, and in particular in the wage demands, and then struggled to get rid of them. So for me, I can completely understand why we thought the summer business was over, and I can completely understand why they now think it's not. And I absolutely love that the director has gone out and just said, right, we need to do something here, regardless of what your thoughts are on the current squad composition. We know there's a guy there. We know he's talented. You did want him at one stage. Let's go and grab him and get just a bit more attacking talent and make sure that we don't find ourselves short of goals. That's what it feels like. And that kind of leadership from that position, it's not about, less so about the ability to get the deal done, which appears to have been very, very quick, but more so about the fact that it sounds, at least anyway, from a couple of sources that I've looked at in that half hour I've had to digest this, both The Athletic and Phil McNulty, both basically saying he very much took the lead and took up the baton to go and get it done. And that's kind of great to hear. And I think that's exactly the kind of leadership that you want in corporate structures anyway, right? You want the guy that's going to go, okay, look, I'm just going to go and remove that blocker for you right now and get some more talent in. The fact he's not a striker is sort of interesting, given that was Havertz's main role for us. But I guess maybe my thoughts there are he is extremely talented and there's lots of positions around the pitch he can fill. The most direct two places are obviously left wing, where it'd be a little bit different for us. It'd be more of an inside 10 kind of left winger, which gives us a different option in that position. Although, to be fair, I think Trossard actually maybe has a bit of that. But Trossard's not a typical winger. We've played a lot of things with him out there and played a lot of 10 for Brighton. And then the other positions, obviously, he can play. He's played for Palace quite a bit, positioned kind of on the left, and then also in a 10 role, both left and right. And so for me, Odegaard is someone we want a bit of competition for, and someone who can play on as a very, very kind of ultra attacking midfield as well, and put him on the left side there as well. Brilliant. So you'll find roles for him, you'll find spaces, and what you're looking for is just more invention and intent, so that whoever is up there trying to score the goals, and that's going to be Victor Gyökeres the majority of the time now with that Havertz news, has got the best chance and best opportunity to do so. And I was thinking about this today as well. If we're all in on Gyökeres now in particular, then when you look at what Eze does a lot for Palace, they play a lot on the break.
Yeah. Mateta is
a very similar sort of model to Gyökeres.
He's like Gyökeres. He'll play on the last shoulder. He'll run the channels. He's a big unit.
Makes great runs. I can't help but think that this is a signing that fits really well with that.
Yeah.
That actually gives us a genuine. He's willing to play the early ball a lot of the time. He's willing to play that perfectly timed ball where he's let the striker hang off the shoulder. And that just feels like maybe that's a big part of the direction as well, is in saying, well, we're now no longer going to have the guy, it's not a competition between the guy who drops deep and the guy who plays off the shoulder. We're all in on the off-the-shoulder guy. So, a little bit of adaptation for him, no doubt, is going to be needed. But also for Eze, you're getting a guy who's able to supply ammunition to those types of strikers.
Yeah. I mean, no, I totally agree. The one thing that will be interesting is how where's the space for Winery, even on the bench, let alone in the team and stuff. I mean, we're going to be playing hopefully 65 games this season, so there's a lot of minutes to go around. And look, I listened the other day to some podcast that by the time Eze's 30 and we may want to move on, Winery's still only going to be 21 and he's going to be then primed to come into the team.
I think Winery might be our third choice striker at the moment.
Well,
to be honest.
Well, there's that.
There's
that as well.
I think what you've got after Gyökeres now, you're into Trossard, Gabby Jesus is still out for a long period of time as far as we can see.
You've got potentially Marino is the last resort, but he can do a job. But also
you've got Mikel. Well, actually, maybe he's not a last resort in fairness.
And then Martinelli, and then potentially Martinelli. But
there's Martinelli. There's various options, right? It's. I wouldn't be surprised, at least anyway, if he still gets plenty of minutes just dotted around various positions in the park.
Yeah. So on your point around Berta and how quickly we did this, I think the Hand of Ozil posted today, he sort of that. And Andrea made the call, and Eze ordered his agents to cut all communication with the scum. And those apparently that's a quote. That's a quote from Eze. Please cut all communication with the scum. Parish was out today enjoying a casual shopping day. He's been left astounded by how fast Andrea has completed this hijack. Josh Kroenke greenlit the deal today. There's the green again. Eze currently at a New Balance event while his agent is closing final details with Andrea. The plans are for Eze to complete the medical this week, God willing. And he did make a very good point here. Judge Andrea Berta when the window closes. Not a minute
we
before.
said that months ago, though, didn't we? In fairness, you don't, and even then, I'd have still given him a very good judgment for this window if we'd have sat on this. But
yes,
I really love this now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what was interesting that Indicalia news. I'm not sure how reliable they are, but they've sort of popped up a bit. Apparently, all of a sudden. Coincidentally, maybe not, maybe he is. Saudi clubs are circling around Martinelli. One club potentially looking to pay 80 million.
Well,
Ian? Yeah?
Well,
do you take the money or or all of a sudden actually he's not so bad.
I was about to make.
Go on. Sorry.
I was about to make a joke there. Say, look, I was just googling car hire to go and collect Martinelli to bring him, but that'd be a bit harsh because I am a Martinelli fan. But over the last kind of season and even at Old Trafford, he frustrated a little bit. But 80 million, I think. God, I think if you're offered 80 million from, you have to take it, don't you? Especially if that meant, dare I say it, getting in somebody like Rodrigo on top of Eze. We're getting very fanciful here, probably not realistic, but 80 million, I don't know, would a Saudi club pay that much from, but who knows?
How much did they pay for John Duran again?
It was 75, and now he's in Turkey, isn't he, getting his teeth and hair and football done.
And everything else done. Yeah. It would break my heart a little bit to see Martinelli go, but I think we're almost at that point now as a fan base and as a club that we've apart from when the likes of Zinchenko and Fabio Vieira and all those lads go, we're going to be into a little bit of a period where we're going to have to sell players that we love and that we have affiliations with. So, and we're guilty of not selling early enough in the past. So.
Yeah, I mean, 80 I would take it. 60 I'd be a bit hesitant because because I still think if you sell him, you'd need to get someone else in.
Yeah.
So again, it's that thing. So fine, if you sell him and then you can get a Rodrigo in, whether Rodrigo is that much of an uplift on Martinelli all round, shall we say? So yes, going forward as an attacking sense, yes, I'm sure he does offer something different, has a bit more of the X factor. Martinelli's plateaued, but and look, he's primarily there as an attacking player. But there's also a lot that you lose with him, so it'll be interesting. I don't want to sort of relitigate Martinelli and stuff. I think we are fans of him here. I think we all can see that he's plateauing, but I hate to say it, but I'd give him one more season. But maybe that's the problem.
I said that in a WhatsApp group only yesterday. People were talking about we have to get rid of Martinelli, and I thought no. I think give him this season and then we'll know. But again, we're guilty of doing that for so many players down the years, and then you just lose the value then. Yeah,
indeed. So look, as we can imagine, the Spurs reaction online has been hilarious. Some comments about, oh, well, Eze's a church man, so he'll keep his promise. Well, I'm not going to go too far down that road, but anyway, so there's certain promises they keep and certain promises they don't. I did look. I know this is the usual Arse blog and Gunner blog thing when they look at the something hashtag out. So I did look up the ENIC out on X, and I do want to share a couple because I thought there was some quite funny. So there was one here, Carl Banner. I would say I'm shocked, but this is so Levy's Tottenham. Embarrassing. Get the cunt gone. ENIC out. This is kudos on fire. If you purposely wanted to keep this club in mediocrity and slowly destroy it while still making a profit, you wouldn't do anything different to what ENIC and Levy are doing right now. Hashtag Levy out. And then the last one is Hot Boy Tupu. It's just bitter disappointment after bitter disappointment. Sack a European trophy winning manager to squandering a deal over pennies, and as he walks to the enemy, I'm so mad. Levy must go. ENIC out. So that was funny. And I want to give a shout out to Alex Munro from the Grove. He sent me 85 images from the Spurs subreddit of their reaction, and I love you, Alex, for doing that. Funnily enough, I didn't look through the whole of it, but I did pick one out, and this was from Hufty. I've accepted our place in the world of football as the forever laughing stock. Once everybody else here does, you'll hurt less.
The acceptance is coming from them.
Yeah.
And go on,
Ian. No, go on, Ian.
I was going to say, I saw one earlier on. I literally just posted it to X before I came on. It was I can't remember the name of the account. It was like the Hotspur Way or something, a big Tottenham account, and he just said, like, who do we go for now that Eze is no longer an option? Who's next? And the first comment was another Spurs fan saying, I actually don't care anymore. We have completely broken them. And it's hilarious. I love it so much.
Unbelievable. Oh, another Ornstein tweet just coming up. Eberechi agrees personal terms with Arsenal ahead of completing the move from Crystal Palace. Deal in principle already struck for 27-year-old attacking midfielder. Blah blah blah. So yeah, it's just getting more. It's getting more and more done as we speak. And a couple of final things. One was I love this from Red Action Gooners, and they sent a tweet saying, "What should I do if my erection will not go down?" And it was brilliant. And then the other one, someone sort of alluded to the fact was that this time last week, or almost this time last week, Tottenham were 2-0 up in the Super Cup against Paris Saint-Germain. How's your week going, Tottenham fans?
Oh, if only they could turn back time. But what's beautiful is, like, over the last few days especially, like, the Arsenal fans were kind of making themselves feel better by saying that if Eze had the choice, like if it was just a straight choice between Arsenal and Tottenham, he'd pick Arsenal. And the Tottenham fans were just, saying that's all nonsense. Like, it's never going to happen. And it's just so beautiful to see that proven now. It's so beautiful. And this is it's not quite a Sol Campbell moment, but I mean, almost. We're getting up there.
almost. Well, look, they can console themselves by getting Sterling on loan and move on. But then, as we said before we started recording, the irony if they did get Sterling and when we played the North London derby, could you imagine? We all know what the story's going to be. But anyway, let's see. So look, that's Eze, and we're going to be dining out on this for a long, long time. And so just enjoy it, Gunners, because you lot can be miserable bastards a lot of the time, some of the time. And we were a bit miserable today when we heard the news about Havertz. There was an open training session today, and the messages, Jamie, were coming through on the group saying, "Oh, well, no Havertz," and okay, well, it happens. But then Ornstein, another Orn bomb. Arsenal forward Kai Havertz set for spell out with knee injury. Assessments on 26-year-old. 26, all right. German international early stage, so prognosis and duration unclear, but AFC effectively exploring transfer market. They certainly did. We didn't expect this for signing to strengthen attack or provide cover. Yeah, how big a loss is this for the Arsenal? I mean, I know we've signed Eze, but Havertz, he's so important to what we do, Jamie, isn't he?
I think it's a massive loss. I think Kai Havertz, before he was injured, had been on a spell where for 12 months he'd been one of the top 5 or 6 strikers in the country. So for me, it's a really, really big loss. And it's gutting because I thought, after the injury ended last season and, we went through the summer of memes around him bulking up and that kind of stuff. I said on here numerous times, I thought there was the potential that he could have a really, really big year. So I'm absolutely gutted for Kai. It is what it is, isn't it? But it also as well puts it gives Victor Gyökeres a fantastic opportunity and also puts a lot of pressure on the lad as well. He's got to be the man. But by all accounts, he seems to be a chap who wants to be the man. So I think perhaps maybe this is a golden opportunity for him. And maybe it's a little bit less pressure, actually, weirdly, from the fans.
Yeah.
So a bit more pressure on his shoulders to go and score the goals and to perform. But actually, from the fan base, when you've got Kai sat there, you might well, after a few games, be clamouring to have him back in the side, right? Whereas at the moment, you may be just going, well, this is what we've got, which is maybe not dissimilar as well to what happened when Kai first got his run at 9. And there was there wasn't a great deal of pressure on him. So it was like, well, we need somebody. We had at the time, I think it was another Jesus injury, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think just Eddie being shite. So that was sort of the circumstance that led to him going up front. And maybe this is similar for Victor Gyökeres. So that's the main thing now is that problem or that position where we were wondering who was going to be playing there now. We're no longer wondering, are we? We're back to just staring at fullbacks and deciding who's going to play there. And then I guess now we're asking who's going to play left wing all the time. So, that's that. It is what it is. But I'm really, really gutted for him. I think it's a huge loss.
Yeah, I mean, the two silver linings, if you can get. Well, look, we don't know how bad the injury is yet, so we don't know how how thick or thin the silver linings need to be. But the two things are, one, the Eze deal, and I love the quote someone on the Grove said, it's the best assist that Havertz has made for a long time. So
Oh God,
I don't know who to credit that to.
Taste. Yeah.
I don't know who to credit that to, but and I can't be bothered looking. But anyway, you know who you are. Well, if you're listening, and then. But you're right. Gyökeres, he gets a run at centre forward without that pressure, and because and he's embedding into the team getting used to him. We have no choice now, so we have to accelerate that, and maybe that accelerates his involvement in the team. He can get a run of it. He won't take it easy, but at least he's not looking over his shoulder saying, "Oh God, if I screw up," and maybe that. That sort of thing. Havertz comes in, and then they were going to dovetail, and they were going to stop, and they were going to start one, you start another, and or is it? But now he's going to get up to speed, and we'll know very soon. We'll know soon enough if he's the real deal or not. So I think that accelerates that. As for the injury to Havertz, we know it's a knee injury, but there was rumours of an ACL. Now, whether they announced that or not, because whether you got inflammation or not, any physio would know an ACL. In my experience, having had 2 ACL injuries, it's just a push and pull on the knee, and that's gone. So I don't think swelling masks that, or if the swelling is so bad, then it's a big problem. So I don't know. The fact that it warranted an on bomb, it's not like a couple of weeks. I'm thinking anywhere between 12 and 16 weeks potentially there. So and he will be a big miss. I think we play better with him. He was on for a 20 goal a season last season. He can score goals. He's like with a lot of our players. I don't know. People just maybe are down on him for what they expect versus what he does, and he does a very good job. And then he leads our press. He knows the system. He works so hard. His work rate and everything. So his all round game. Is so important to us, and so I think he will be a miss, because that's part of the problem that happened on Saturday was Gyökeres and the press. He wasn't still too sure what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and stuff. So I think we're better with Havertz in our team. we need the numbers in our squad, but bloody hell, it's been one game and we already got our first half serious injury of the season. So we'll see. I think more will come. I think Friday we'll get more of an assessment, and but. It was interesting because then it made the Trossard news potentially more understandable. So there was the news yesterday from James McNicholas breaking yesterday evening that started as 24-hour mayhem, where he said, Trossard has agreed to be paid more money. Well done, you. Good decision. good process, as they say. But no extension in his contract. It runs through till he's 32. But just gets a bit of a pay bump. So what were your in when you heard about that? I know it's been talked about since about May time. So what were your thoughts? What was your reaction to the Trossard news?
I thought it was a strange one. I fully understand why it happened. Like Trossard, for the impact that he's made, I think he's on a good bit less, or was on a good bit less than Martinelli, say, who we've just spoken about, has frustrated, whereas Leo has, made an impact. He scored some really important goals for us. So he probably deserves his pay rise. But I don't know, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I don't remember that ever happening before, where a player gets a pay rise but not an extension. They usually go hand in hand. But it's no real skin off our nose. Like we're not being tied to another 2 years of him when he's 34 or 35. So he deserves a few extra quid. So fair play. And as you said, Tabs, it obviously has tied in. This happened and was, because of the Havertz news. There's a chance maybe that if Havertz doesn't get injured, that Leo goes, and we laid on in the window go for Eze. But yeah, I wasn't against it. I wasn't against it at all. I didn't mind it.
Okay, it did seem a bit odd. And I think, again, this is the reaction. I've seen various reactions on the fan base. One like, happy for it, good. He's been a great servant. He can score goals. He's a good option across the front three. Why not? It's a no-brainer. I think the negative reaction to it was purely because it makes him harder to sell. And if we can't sell him, that means we can't get Eze. or we can't get Rodrigo. So again, it's not about him; it's about what the decision stops us from doing. The opportunity cost, as they say. But him as a player, but it does seem a bit odd. But I think it comes down to potentially there's been a couple of contracts this summer, like with MLS and Waneri, getting paid, and he's not maybe getting a consummate wage for what he offers, and so. And I heard a good point today, on the Arts Vision podcast, is like, and I think we've said this before on our podcast, that, we are very fair with our players. We maybe a bit too fair sometimes, but we treat them with a bit of humanity, unlike certain clubs in West London, and we care for our players, and then maybe a bit care too much. We make their lives a bit too comfortable, and then they cause a rod for our back. But I'd rather be that clubs that treats our players nicely than just treats them as objects and doesn't give two shits about them and all the rest of it. So I think there's a whole thing wrapped up with it, and I think the timing is linked with the Havertz thing. It's not because of the Havertz thing, but I think they talked about it. They weren't selling him, so fine. And then all of a sudden the Havertz injury, and we accelerate this process. But I mean, how do you feel about Jamie? Keeping him and plus also the negative reaction around it, as it looked, the whole group today was just, oh, we've now got him, and we're not going to sell anyone, we're not going to get this, we're not going to do that, everyone's shit, we don't know what we're doing. How do you feel? How did you feel about the Trossard news and how it sort of panned out?
Well, firstly, it wasn't very surprising. I thought it actually already happened, but it was first mooted about 8 or 9 months ago. It was like Christmas time. That this was first mooted, 100%. Like the talk of, and we literally discussed it in that particular group at that given time as well. To me, it's quite simple, and actually, I think you touched on it quite nicely there, which is it's about culture, and like reward is one of the key parts of culture in a workplace, and feeling valued is a key part of keeping people happy. And if you want to keep your players feeling happy and rewarded, then you need to pay them the commensurate sums to do so. I know certainly Trossard on Capology was on like 90k, which at our gaff is not a great deal of money. It's a huge amount of money, obviously, for anyone else. 90k a week, that is. But it is quite a low amount for somebody who starts as often as he does for a top Premier League team. And so, as such, if you want to pay the guy the money that makes him happy, makes him feel rewarded, and gets the best out of him, then go for it. I know there's been positions that I've been in my profession where I've been less rewarded than I should have been, and to be frank, it probably affected performance because you do feel undervalued. So if you don't want to increase your overall financial risk by extending that contract and going, we don't want to keep you going into another year. We don't want to keep that hanging around the accounts, but we do absolutely accept that we're underpaying you. Then, that feels like an absolute no-brainer to me, and I don't really have any issue with it whatsoever.
What about the point about though making him less sellable? To be honest,
I don't think he's that sellable anyway. He's 30. He's decent, but he's inconsistent. I think his value to us is probably a little greater than his value on the open market. So, which is not a dissimilar feeling that I get around Martinelli at certain times as well, because kind of similar position where it's hard to upgrade from him, but probably those upgrades are all going to cost a huge amount more than him, and therefore his value on the open market feels less than it would be necessarily to us. And that's just how I kind of see it with Tross. But I think if he's quite happy to be a bit more of a reasonably bit part player, but well remunerated for it, and he's still going to remain motivated and decent in game, great. I haven't really got an issue with it. But
it's going to be like
if this is happening at the end of a window, and I think everything we've heard is that he was looking about and talking to other clubs, and I'm sure that if somebody was willing to come and pick him up on the wages that he was on, then to be frank, it would have happened by now.
Yeah.
And I don't think an acceptable offer hasn't been made, because I do not see it as likely that we don't have a price for Trossard. This is not going to be a Saliba, Saka, Gabriel situation where you're kicking and screaming and absolutely, somebody has to pay over the odds for him. I'm fairly sure that Trossard's had a price with us the whole time, and nobody's gone and made that offer for him. So, that, and in that case, if we've only got 1 year after next left on it, there ain't a great deal of resale value, is there? There's not massive amounts going on there, and he'll be 31 by then. He's 30 until he's 31. Got to be said. But I just don't think it's that much of a big deal. To be frank,
I mean, look, he'll be third choice centre forward when people are fit. Third choice, left wing. Plus, he can also play on the right. So, in terms of him as a player at the club, I think he provides a lot of options, experience. He's a great finisher. I think it's the anger in a way was more what it represented. And I think people feeling that it's stopping something from happening. So again, it's not against him. It's about what keeping him represented and making sense of that. And then so therefore by extrapolating,
like it's Football Manager, and you can press to offer to clubs and transfer list, and you get the standard. It ain't how it works, is it?
Look, you're preaching to the converted here. We know, but
I just don't see that there was some massive, great big market for him and a great whopping price there. Maybe a couple of teams were interested, but the amount of money was the kind.
Well, we had our value. We had a value.
But either way, I really highly doubt that this offer gets made if there were advantageous offers out there, offers that we felt were going to allow us to do something else. I just really doubt it.
I 1,000,000% agree with you, Jamie. Trossard's pay rise is completely irrelevant to us selling him in a couple of years. It's not going to make a jot of a difference because as you said, we're not going to get a lot for him anyway. Like I don't think it's going to affect Arsenal in any way, and it's been proven there because we're about to sign Eberechi Eze. So.
And there you go. So good. I'm glad you did that. We come back full circle. Back to Eze. It's still nuts that he's going to be joining Arsenal. We just need to get through the next 24 hours.
I'm delighted. I'm absolutely amazed that nobody seems to be. I mean, I do wonder if within the next 3 or 4 days, once he's in an Arsenal shirt and then it dies down and we get to the other side of the weekend, is somebody going to be really peeved off because signing Eze stopped us signing Rodrigo? Is that?
I'm sure there'll be someone. I'm naming no names, two in particular, but I'm sure there will be someone there saying, "Well, why haven't we done this?" Because it happened when we made 6 great signings to supplement what we needed to do, and we hadn't done this and stuff. Yeah, but that's just football fandom. Let them. It's my new mantra for the season. I'm all going all Mel Robbins this year, and I'm just going to let people. So there we go. But let's enjoy the fact that Eze's going to be. He's coming home. He's going to be an Arsenal player. We all love him. We all see what we can do. Thomas Frank, sorry. I think you've realised what sort of club you've joined, and yeah, it's the history of the Tottenham, and they just know they always forever will be in our shadows. So,
and isn't it just before you finish up, Tabs? Isn't it great to see that wonderful European Cup thing that they won is such a draw? That thing that they've been boasting about for the whole summer that nobody cares about. That it's been such a draw that they're still not able to sign the players that they want.
Exactly. So there we go. So look, thank you, boys, for joining me at this very late hour. I felt it was necessary that we did this. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to be spending the next hour just going through all the messages, all the tweets, all the whatever, just soaking it all up. So
what's the opposite of doom scrolling?
Joy scrolling. I'm going to be joy scrolling and schadenfreuding for a while, and that's it. So thank you for coming along, Ian. Thanks for joining me tonight.
You're very welcome, Tabs. You're very welcome.
And Jamie, hopefully your tongue stopped burning. But thank you for coming on.
No worries, pleasure. Thank you.
Good. And I will be seeing you now on Saturday for the Leeds game. So
thank you very much. That was Tabs who went out and got me sorted out with that, wasn't it?
no problem,
Nice.
no problem. It was good. And Ian, unfortunately, you'll be otherwise engaged, being entertained. I'm sure you will be. But there we go.
I've got serious FOMO.
You will do.
Robbie Williams, are you?
Yeah.
Really? Oh.
My missus said to me, I'd say, I don't know how long ago, you know the way these concerts work, it's nearly a year before they gig that they sell the tickets. So I said, yeah, I'll go along. I actually like Robbie Williams, and then it just it clashed with the game. I'm absolutely devastated, but I as Tab says, I'll be entertained.
Indeed, I'm sure you enjoy it, and luckily it doesn't clash, so you'll be in the pub beforehand.
Yeah, I'll be able to at least watch it. Yeah.
Good. Okay, so we will be now doing a show post Leeds. I think that's the last you're going to hear of us before the game. You can find us on Blue Sky and Threads, where we chat shit. Basically, I've started posting a few videos and whatnot. So yeah, come and interact if you feel like it, and like and subscribe and all that jazz. And look, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And well, until the next time, come on, you Gunners.